Level up. And a lot of y'all ain't gonna want to hear this, but it has to be said. I hear a lot of times in the dating sphere, through content and through personal conversations I've had with people, when they're talking about people, they want people on their level. That the generally, because I date women or hear the men's side of things, it's women telling guys that they need to level up. They need somebody on their level. They need somebody to man up, step up, all that, level up. What are we really talking about when we talk about this? Because what level, there's different levels in life. You can have a certain financial level, you can have a certain educational level, spiritual level, physical level. So what level are you talking about when you throw the burden on someone else to level up for them to be worthy of your time and attention? I'm going to go with generally what it starts out with, because people are physically attracted to each other. When people are physically attracted to each other, are you on that level? Are you physically able, and I don't mean just for somebody's sex for a small amount of time. Are you physically attracting people worth what you want? Because there's somebody that always have sex with somebody, but are you attracting people that you physically are attracted to in return, or that you would say, okay, they have a quality or qualities that I would appreciate for a long term? Because if you don't, then your level is not level with somebody else's. Somebody might say, well, okay, great, I don't make as much money, but I'm in a better state of health and fitness than you are, so therefore you are disqualified from my level up. You see how this works? It's always easy to say what somebody wants. Level. Let's talk finances then, because a lot of people say, okay, well, I'm educated, so let's even start with education. You graduated from college, you got a master's, PhD, this, that, or the other, yet you don't have any sort of life smarts. Because if you had some sort of life smarts, then some of the things that are holding you back from having the things that you want may not be in place. So just being, and I think everybody can agree, just being book smart does not mean you are all around smart. So a lot of times you're going to come across people who are smarter or have a different sort of intellect, and it's worth something. So they may not have a piece of paper to say they're at a particular level of accomplishment or accreditation, but that does not mean that real life won't teach you some real things, because people have been learning things longer than there have been colleges, schools, or any sort of formal education put in place. So just keep that in mind when you're talking about level up as far as an education level. Now, I understand that that piece of paper will get you a better paying job, so we're talking about financial at that point. So financially, a lot of times you're going to come across people who have graduated college, that's great, but they have a slew of student loan debt. So the average person, the average black male, I believe the average male makes like 52,000. Now I think it's even below that, but the average male is 41,000, and the average Hispanic I think is 38. So maybe it's the average white male makes 52. Okay, so let's just say guy's making 45. We'll call it somewhere in the middle, 45,000 a year, and the young lady that he meets is making, I don't know, 60, and she's just butting into her career, so she may make a little bit more, but she's not really going to top out, because the average for women I believe is 37 or something like that. So you're talking about higher earning women. But if we're talking about that, then her 60,000, how much is she paying into that student loan? Like, you're in debt. And if you have a mortgage or you're renting, there's more debt. If you don't own your car outright, there is more debt. So when we're talking about leveling up, let's just keep it in context that yes, you have a better paying job, but if you have more debt, then you are ultimately possibly earning less by the time, or saving less by the time all is said and done. Do you have a savings? Is there 401k? There's a lot of things that you can put in place that I personally have brought more financial value to a table than people who were earning more than me, than women that were earning more than me. Why? Because financially sound matters. And it's not just about Is your car, up to date? Are you buying, fashion with clothing, style with cars, location with housing? Although that can be a safety one, but the other two can really, really hit your pocket. So a lot of times when you get to a certain level, you have a certain level of education. Now you want to say, well, I need this bag. And okay, cool. Well, those bags aren't cheap. Neither are the clothes that kind of complement them. Neither is the car that you would want to get into to look like you deserve to be wearing the clothes and carrying the bag, much less the house that goes along with it. So a lot of times people are overspending where they need to be, all in the name of telling other people to level up. Guys, this is not, it should not be a game of I'm better than you. I understand that you may want to find somebody that you have things in common with, but compatibility used to be one of those things where you had common interest, where you saw things maybe politically the same, socially the same, and we could certainly say like tribally, if you just want to say I want a person who looks like me or looks like my father and uncles, and that's a different story as well. What we're really getting down to now is people almost judging other people for what they do and don't have, and that's a really lousy place to be. And going back to the beginning with the physical part, it's a lousy place to judge, to judge people for their fitness. There's a lot of people who, okay, medically or just genetically, but we all do know that the same way that you can tell somebody to get a better job or go to school, blah, 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 you can tell somebody to go to the gym and start losing weight and eating better. It washes out, and both sides are, again, it seems judgmental. I'm going to leave it at that. What's your ace up the sleeve? What's your advice, comment, experience? And the reason that I filmed this here is because there are so many games being played by a lot of people who don't have the time to really go through their lives and act this way. And it's a shame that there's a lot of people that don't get to experience what they need to because they're letting their ego and their pride hold them back when they should be looking to be more accepting. This does not say lower your standards. I hear that all the time. Well, they say I should lower my standards. I'm not going to lower my standards. How about not lower your standards, but how about broaden your acceptance? How about that? How about understanding that, the person may be overweight, but they're in the process of losing it? Or better yet, if you really want to get a diamond out of the rough, and guys, this is for you. If you really want to be that leader that you say that you are, can you lead a woman into better health and fitness? Can you lead her? Because if she has the qualities that you enjoy, if she's feminine, if she's friendly, but she's not fit, can you get her fit? Can you get her fit? And ladies, if you are saying that he doesn't make enough, can you inspire somebody, or would you be willing to accept that this man is happy where he's at, making what he's making, and that should be enough, because he's not going to bring home stress to you. He's not going to bring home things to you that you don't want or you didn't expect because he was forced into something that where he was earning more. Can either side, can you do that? Can you accept? It's not lowering your standards, it's broadening your horizons, it's rising to challenges, it's saying, what can I do? Have I done the work for me to honestly say that I'm in a place to be part of something with somebody and accept what they bring and have them accept about me, but we still work together to get better, rather than say, well, I'm up here so I have this, but if we're together you're still down here so you don't have that. That whole leveling up thing, it's never been level. It's never been a level thing, because men and women are different. We have different places and positions in society, and so therefore it's never going to be level. You have to look at, is that person doing the best for themselves? And is that something that we can pool our resources to? There's a difference between working a low-level job and just sitting on the couch. It's not the same. There's a difference between having, a thyroid condition and just being, about, the worst foods that you can eat and drinking and, things like that. There's a difference. You have to see that in people, and you have to understand that the same way you would judge somebody, they might judge you. And there's such a small percentage of people out there earning right, looking right, living right. And when I say living right, I mean mind, body, and soul. I've seen a lot of people on both sides. I've seen guys that I talk with that, they're talking about the women that they date and stuff like that, and they're not there yet. they're not there yet, or spiritually they're not there yet. Women too, I see a lot of broken mindsets, and they're still trying to adhere to somebody else. You can't. You have to put your own pieces together before you start going in with other people. Otherwise, you're asking somebody else to do the work for you, and that's your job to do. You may not like it, but the acceptance is on you. A lot of the places that we're at are a result of the things that we chose, and that's a hard thing to hear. A lot of people don't like to hear, well, my ex this, my ex that. You picked him. You picked him. Nobody likes to hear that, but it's true. You picked him. At the end of the day, you picked him. And even if they turned into somebody else after some stint of time, you still picked them. And this is often why you need a positive circle of people around you to vet these people and say, you know, this person doesn't feel right for you. I'm not getting a good vibe, or this looks like the last time, or, you know, whatever else. So there's a lot to be said when it comes to that. So if you're sitting out here trying to think that you know best on your own, nobody knows best on their own. Again, I'm going to leave it at that. I've been rambling. Ace up the sleeve. Advice, comment, experience. What are your thoughts when it comes to the whole level up topic and conversation? And do we have the right to put that much judgment on somebody? Or do we just quietly move on and just say, you know what, maybe it wasn't going to work, rather than really admonish somebody with something like, you're not on my level? The second I feel that you say that, your level drops. When I hear people say that, I feel like, no, your level drops as a person. And it doesn't matter how much money you make, how fit you are, what clothes you wear, what car you drive, what house you live in. Once you say that, it's not a cool place to be that I would want to be aligned with. And maybe that's because I'm not, quote unquote, at their level. Anyways, I'm going to leave it at that. Hopefully this finds everybody in a total place. Well, no, not a total place, but in a place, pursuit, or your beginnings of total health, mind, body, and soul. Peace, love, unity, solidarity.